From hanging out with divers to swimming along ships, here are 10 of the friendliest sea creatures there are. Number 10. Sea lions. Sea lions have long been associated with friendly interactions with humans, so much so that they form a large part of Peruvian culture, having been worshipped by the people there and depicted in numerous artworks. They are highly intelligent animals, which means they can learn tricks to entertain crowds, and are quite curious, so they will often swim up alongside humans and play with them in the water. They are also used by the U.S. military to assist scuba diving teams looking for underwater mines, and in some instances detain divers who have accessed restricted areas until authorities can arrive. Sea lions and dolphins are used as combat marine units, and sea lions especially have excellent eyesight. Sea lions are hardy, smart, and trainable, and they have the added advantage that they are amphibious and can easily hand things to their handlers. This all makes sea lions sound like gentle creatures, but it's important to know that sea lions have another side to them. If they aren't treated well or respectfully, they can become quite aggressive. This can also happen with male sea lions because they are very territorial during mating season. If it looks like you're bothering one, then stay away. But if not, they are one of the friendliest sea creatures you'll ever meet. Number 9. The Beluga Whale. Beluga whales are native to the Arctic and subarctic and are uniquely adapted to the cold waters. They are white in color, don't have a dorsal fin, and have an enlarged head which contains an organ called a melon that is used for echolocation. Belugas were actually the first type of whale to be kept in captivity, with the first being shown at Barnum's Museum in New York in 1861. To this day, they are still the most commonly seen animal in marine parks across North America, Europe, and Asia, mainly because they are much smaller than other species of whale and easier to contain. They are also a hit with visitors because of their unusual color and wide range of facial expressions. They are really curious about the people who visit them and often perform in shows with trainers who they develop deep bonds with. Since 1992, it has been forbidden to capture belugas in Canada because of concerns for the population numbers in the wild, so now most of them come from Russia. They are so popular that each one can cost as much as $100,000. Whale watching tours are a great way to see them in their natural habitat, but it's important for the boat not to get too close to them because of the way it can interrupt their daily activities. Quite often they enjoy interacting with the boat so much that they get distracted from things like feeding, social interaction with their own species, and breeding. They get so caught up in the moment they forget what they're supposed to be doing. Number 8. The whale shark. You might not think a shark with a 5-foot wide mouth and more than 3,000 teeth would be the friendliest of creatures, but whale sharks are the most gentle of all shark species. They pose no threat to humans at all and are usually pretty welcoming to those who want to swim alongside them. Despite their huge mouth, their throats are only the width of a US quarter, and they only eat tiny microorganisms. Their average speed through the water is about 3 miles per hour, so they are easy to keep up with, and in a lot of tourist areas they are used to the presence of humans in the water and don't really seem to be bothered. Cancun is one of the best places to swim with these giants of the ocean, where you'll really feel small next to a 65-foot long and 12-ton fish. There really is nothing quite like being surrounded by a few of them, and the experience draws tourists from all over the world. If you visit Las Afueras, you'll even have a chance to be amongst a feeding frenzy of hundreds of them, which is a spectacular feat of nature. Number 7. Manatees. Manatees, or sea cows, are also known as gentle giants, and it's clear to see why. They are fully aquatic and feed mainly on plant life that they sift from the water. They can grow up to 13 feet long, weigh about 1,300 pounds, and push their way through the water with their paddle-like limbs. These slow-moving, calm creatures also have an insatiable curiosity of humans and seek out human activity for sources of warmth. Underwater discharge pipes are, as a result, a popular spot for them to congregate because they are a good source of heat in the cool waters where they live. When they see divers in the water, their curiosity gets the better of them, and they simply have to go up and swim with you, or at least see what you're doing. The Crystal River in Florida is one of the places where you can get in the water with a manatee, and it's become a big tourist attraction for people who want a chance to get up close with these loving creatures. They are so friendly to humans that the number of visitors is now concerning locals who feel that the habitats are being threatened. In 2013, for example, 16% of Florida's manatee population died off because of a red tide algae bloom, so it's important that the perfect balance be found to allow humans and manatees to coexist. Number 6. Dolphins. As one of the most intelligent animals on the planet, it's no surprise that dolphins and humans can develop close bonds. Whether it be helping people catch fish in Brazil, rescuing stranded swimmers, or gliding alongside boats and playing in the wake, they find us as interesting as we find them. They have also been seen to cautiously approach pregnant women because they can hear 2 heartbeats. And in captivity, they are very effective in therapeutic treatments because of their friendliness and closeness. This isn't just a recent thing either. Frescoes of dolphins in the ancient city of Knossos in Crete show that this affinity between our 2 species has been going on for thousands of years. A study that was conducted at the University of Kyoto looked at why dolphins in particular are great companions to humans. They found that they see the world in a similar way to us, and even go about solving problems in a similar way. Their echolocation is key to their relationship with us, as this is what tells them where we are and that we are living beings. Some species are noted in scientific literature as going out of their way to seek social encounters with humans because they are naturally inquisitive by nature. It doesn't mean that they are always going to be cute and cuddly, but compared to other creatures, the dolphin can be considered quite friendly. Number 5. The Pacific Gray Whale. Pacific gray whales are some of the most awe-inspiring creatures you will ever see, and it turns out they are incredibly friendly towards humans. Their migration is the longest of any mammal on Earth, over 10,000 miles, and during this time, as many as 20,000 of them can be seen swimming together. It's one of the most stunning sights in nature, but despite their huge size, they are gentle aquatic giants. Very little is known about these majestic beasts, especially when it comes to how they communicate. It's possible to get up close to them yourself in places like Baja in Mexico. There they are known for swimming up to passing boats and putting on a show for people. Sometimes you might even see a mother and her calf up close, showing no fear of proximity to humans. Over the course of history, this has often been to their detriment, as humans have hunted the gray whales for hundreds of years. The fact that they are so friendly would have made them an easy target. Now, the gray whale is protected by the International Whaling Commission. Number 4. Manta Rays. Manta rays are graceful creatures that glide through the ocean and can be very inquisitive and friendly towards humans. Some people even call them the puppy dogs of the sea. The first thing to know is that manta rays do not have stingers like stingrays do, so they pose no threat to humans at all. The danger is actually the other way around because they have protective membranes that can fall off if touched, so if you do ever swim alongside one, it's important not to hold on to it. Studies have shown that mantas may actually be self-aware and recognize themselves in a mirror. They have the biggest brain of any fish and are capable of learning and problem-solving. They were once thought to be very dangerous, but the increased popularity of diving around reefs has brought more people in proximity with them. They are often hunted for their cartilage, which is used in Chinese medicine, and females will only have a new pup every few years, so they are critically endangered in many places. Often you will hear stories of manta rays swimming circles around divers, giving the sense that they are the ones being watched rather than the other way around. It's a very peaceful experience if you're ever lucky enough to swim with them in the wild, something that you can do if you go to protected marine sanctuaries in Hawaii, Fiji, Thailand, or Australia. Definitely on my list. Number 3. Hammerhead Sharks. The last type of animal you might expect to see on this list is a shark, but some species are actually quite friendly towards humans, even though the feeling is rarely mutual. Hammerheads are very rarely aggressive and quite enjoy investigating divers in the water. They are possibly the most unusually shaped sharks ever. The shape of their head is thought to be a way to increase their sensory perception while hunting for prey. Luckily, they don't consider humans to be food and much prefer a diet of fish, squid, octopus, and stingrays. In Hawaii, sharks are considered to be gods of the sea, and hammerheads are not considered to be man-eaters. They are one of the most respected creatures of the ocean, known as an aumakua, and play an important part in local culture, with many believing that they protect them from the dangerous shark species. Sadly, due to overfishing for their fins to make soup, hammerheads are now an endangered species, and the fishing of them worldwide is heavily regulated. Number 2. Sea turtles. Sea turtles are some of the Earth's oldest creatures and have been around for more than 150 million years. There are 7 species that live in the sea, and now 3 species are considered to be critically endangered. Human activity has a major impact on the habitats of sea turtles, whether it be pollution, fishing, artificial lights, or the way we build on the coast. But despite this, if you are ever to encounter a sea turtle in the wild, you're in for a magical experience. There are many YouTube videos of divers gaining a sea turtle's trust and interacting with them in the wild. The largest species, the leatherback, can grow up to 6.5 feet long, so they are often much larger than humans when in the water, and they eat a diet of plants and small marine life. They don't see humans as a threat as long as you don't start chasing them around. In most cases, they won't even acknowledge our presence because we're of no concern to them. If you're lucky, they will take an interest in you though, and will swim up against you or let you swim alongside them, or very rarely, scratch their neck. Number 1. The porpoise. Porpoises are small-toothed whales that are closely related to dolphins, and they share large similarities in behavior and temperament. They tend to be a little smaller, and the 6 different species live in waters all over the world. Some can even survive in both fresh and salt water. Unlike dolphins though, porpoises do not do very well in captivity and struggle to survive without the freedom of the ocean. They love to approach boats and surfers, and there have been a number of reports of porpoises actually saving people. In 2010, Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins was surfing when he apparently fell asleep or passed out. Rather than drifting further out and being lost at sea, he was supposedly rescued by a family of porpoises who nudged him back towards the shore. He said he woke up out of sight of land and was surrounded by fins. Initially fearing for the worst, he soon realized that they were there to help him and push him all the way back to land. There are many stories like these that show that porpoises have a greater understanding of their surroundings than we may think, and a great deal of compassion for other species. Too bad we as humans can't say the same. Thanks for watching! Let us know about your experience with friendly sea creatures in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!